What really happens when Marco Rubio steps off the podium and ditches the teleprompter? Is he secretly binge-watching the Great British Bake Off? Does he struggle with assembling IKEA furniture like the rest of us? While he's out there doing diplomatic somersaults as US Secretary of State, the real MVP is back home. His wife, Jeanette. She may not be trending on Twitter, but she's the CEO of Team Rubio and possibly the only one who can out-negotiate a senator and a toddler in the same day. Love in the time of rec centers. Long before there were campaign trails, Senate speeches, and diplomatic briefings, there was a rec center in West Miami. That's where a 19-year-old Marco first laid eyes on 17-year-old Jeanette, and from that moment, things got adorably awkward. "I knew she was the one," Marco once said with the confidence of a man who clearly never doubted his teenage judgment. Jeanette, however, let's just say her radar took a bit longer to calibrate. After 7 years of dating, yes, 7, enough time to get a PhD or survive 2 Taylor Swift album cycles, Marco decided to go big. On Valentine's Day, no less, he popped the question at the top of the Empire State Building, an iconic rom-com move worthy of a Meg Ryan endorsement. Jeanette, a huge fan of Sleepless in Seattle, was floored. He even had a minor panic moment where he feared she might drop the ring off the side of the building. Classic Marco. Cheerleaders, kids, and avoiding the limelight. In 1998, the Rubios said "I do" in Coral Gables, Florida, and ever since, Jeanette has been the family anchor. Sure, she had a stint as a cheerleader for the Miami Dolphins, but don't let the pom-poms fool you. This wasn't a long-term gig or a personality-defining career. According to her teammates, Jeanette was actually more introvert than extrovert. Picture a book club meeting accidentally held on the 50-yard line, while Marco climbed the political ladder. From Florida's House to the US Senate and beyond, Jeanette focused on building a fortress of love, faith, and Netflix parental controls for their 4 children, Amanda, Daniela, Anthony, and Dominic. And no, it's not your imagination. Those names do sound like they belong in a Disney reboot. Family first, campaign trail second. Throughout Marco's rise in politics, Jeanette made it crystal clear family was non-negotiable. When he served in the Florida legislature, she'd pack up the kids and head to Tallahassee so they could spend time together. During the 2010 Senate campaign, her rule was simple. If Marco could be home for dinner, he should be home for dinner. Yes, she's a mom with a calendar, and she's not afraid to use it. Today, Jeanette mostly dedicates her time to faith, family, and sharing glimpses of their lives on Instagram. Think cute family moments, not political manifestos. While she doesn't crave the spotlight, her influence is undeniable. The faith factor. Jeanette's deep Christian faith has been a major influence in the Rubio household and on Marco's political views. In fact, her convictions helped shape his stances on issues like abortion and child welfare. She once took him to visit a shelter for abused children, a deeply emotional experience that inspired him to co-sponsor legislation for their protection. It's safe to say she's not just an advisor in heels, she's a moral compass with a quiet voice and a fierce heart. Behind the scenes, not behind the curtain. Jeanette has also played a subtle but significant role in her husband's political machine. When things got rocky in Marco's camp, staffers often turned to her for clarity, advice, and perhaps the occasional mom glare of truth. She became a behind-the-scenes gatekeeper, less house of cards, more house of common sense. But don't expect Jeanette to be delivering fiery stump speeches or trending on Twitter anytime soon. "I'm not pushing myself out there," she told Politico. "I need to be with the kids just to give them that balance." And that's exactly what she's done, creating a stable home amidst the political hurricane. What keeps their love strong? So what's the secret sauce behind Marco and Jeanette's enduring love story? Spoiler alert, it's not all champagne toasts and candlelit dinners. According to Marco, love isn't just butterflies and emojis. It's the kind of sacrificial, roll-up-your-sleeves love that shows up even when you're running on 3 hours of sleep and your inbox resembles a digital crime scene. It's commitment, it's teamwork, and yes, it's DVRing The Bachelor without accidentally spoiling who gets the final rose. It's doing school drop-offs at 7 a.m. after a late-night Senate session and still managing to bring the right kid to the right practice. It's knowing when to argue, when to hug, and when to just order tacos and call it a night. Because in the end, real love isn't glamorous. It's reliable, resilient, and sometimes comes with extra guac. Meanwhile, in the Great White North, Meanwhile, up in the land of maple syrup and apologies, a different kind of political romance is making headlines. Meet Mark Carney, Canada's freshly minted Prime Minister, and his whip-smart wife, Diana Fox Carney. They're basically the Canadian version of a Netflix prestige drama. Brains, poise, emotional depth, and just the right amount of scarf-wearing sophistication. Together, they're less about power lunches and more about power principles, with a side of politely intense policy debates over dinner. Think The West Wing meets Anne of Green Gables, if Anne had a master's in economics and ran a think tank. Oxford love and ice hockey goals. Their love story began not in some political think tank or war room, but at Oxford University, where both were students. They bonded over ice hockey. Yes, you heard that right. Nothing says romance like slapshots and frozen fingers. Diana was a star on the Oxford University women's team, and Mark wasn't just a pretty face. He hit the ice too. A shared love of hockey evolved into a relationship built on mutual respect, laughter, and a whole lot of academic degrees. Brains, and more brains. Diana isn't just the PM's wife. She's an economist with a resume that could make a Wall Street CEO nervous. With a background in philosophy, politics, and economics, Oxford, plus a master's in agricultural economics and another in international relations, she's a powerhouse in her own right. Over the years, Diana has worked with think tanks like Canada 2020 and the UK's Institute for Public Policy Research. Her focus: climate change, energy reform, and social inequality. Basically all the things that matter when you're trying to stop the planet from bursting into flames. And while her current role isn't public knowledge, she's been a vital force behind the scenes in shaping policy and guiding strategy. Family first, hockey second. Mark and Diana married in 1994 and went on to raise 4 daughters: Cleo, Tess, Amelia, and Sasha. And just like the Rubios, the Carneys have managed to maintain a sense of normalcy in a very public life. Their eldest daughter, Cleo, even introduced her father at his victory speech in 2025. Her words painted a picture of a devoted dad, a loving husband, and someone who always made time for handmade birthday CDs. That's right, CDs, homemade ones. This man governed a nation and still had time to learn iTunes. Cleo's tribute was touching, humorous, and heartfelt, a rare political moment that didn't feel scripted by a PR team. And if that wasn't enough to make you tear up, the family now returns the favor by making him Spotify playlists. Politics, but make it wholesome. Diana, the quiet storm. On election night, Diana was front and center, seated in a vibrant red suit beside her daughter Cleo as Mark delivered his speech. While she generally avoids media attention, her presence was powerful, a silent statement of strength, elegance, and unwavering support. And let's be real, who doesn't love a woman who can balance fiscal policy with parenting 4 teenagers? 2 love stories, 1 theme. Whether it's the Rubios in Florida or the Carneys in Ottawa, both couples share something rare in today's fast-paced, headline-hungry world: genuine partnership. They've built lives rooted in faith, family, respect, and service. Not just for the cameras, but in the quiet moments the public never sees. Their stories are reminders that the most powerful political alliances might just begin with a glance across a rec center or an awkward hockey pass at Oxford. They also remind us that behind every public figure shaking hands and signing bills is someone holding their hand at home, someone reminding them what truly matters. If you loved this behind-the-scenes peek into power, politics, and playlists, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, because even political love stories deserve a little like. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a rom-com moment in real-life leadership. And hey, drop a comment below. Who do you think DVRs The Bachelor better, Marco or Mark?